UFC on ESPN 7, Washington DC, Overeem versus Rosen Strikes takes place next weekend. And I cannot fucking wait for this card. We're going to start at the early prelims, end with the main event, giving our predictions for every single fight along the way. Starting with my main man, Mahmoud Muradov versus Trevor Smith. I'm going with Mahmoud Muradov. I think he's a great guy. I think the fight with him and Alessio Di Chirico could have really gone either way, but I'm not mad now looking back at it. With them giving him the decision, I thought that maybe he could have edged it there. But that was a close fight. I just don't think that Trevor Smith is an elite opponent. And I think that Mahmoud Muradov is a savage, and he's coming into his prime, and he's a huge guy for the weight class. And I think he's going to put on some work against Trevor Smith at light heavyweight. I think he gets the job done. Mahmoud Muradov for the win by decision. Livia Renata Souza versus Verna Jandiroba. I'm going to go with... Jandiroba, sorry. I should probably say it properly. I'm not sure here. Okay? And I might go with Verna. Because she lost to Carla Esparza. But to be honest with you, when you're coming into the UFC and you're making your debut and you're taking on Carla Esparza, I can kind of allow some losses there. But the losses that Livia Renata Souza has had on her record against Brianna Van Buren, I feel like I'm going to go with Verna Jandiroba here with the decision win because it's a female fight, so obviously it's going to go the distance. Moving on to the prelims. Carlos Condit versus Mickey Gall. I'm gutted that it got cancelled. Fuck it. It's off the list. Joe Solecki versus Matt Wyman. I'm going to go with Matt Wyman. I don't know why I just said that, but I think I'm going to go with Matt Wyman, probably getting the upset here. I thought he was doing pretty good against Luis Pena before he lost. He kind of got the shit beat out of him though, so I'm not too sure. And then you've got Joe Solecki making his UFC debut. You know what? I'll go with the young blood. I'll go with Joe Solecki. Knowing how much damage Matt Wyman took against Pena, I'll go with Joe Solecki getting the win here by finish. I think he'll get the finish in the later rounds. But Matt Wyman's a savage, man. Tough as they come. We'll see what happens. Will the young blood be able to take on the old veteran? I think he will. Joe Solecki gets the win by TKO. Bryce Mitchell versus Matt Sales. Big one. I'm going with Bryce Mitchell. Thug Nasty. 11-0. Coming off a big win over a guy in which I respect hugely in Bobby Moffett. Bobby Moffett. He has damn good fights. Okay, he has damn good fights. And he lost to Enrique Barzola. But Barzola's a savage. Before that, Bryce Mitchell beat Tyler Diamond, who was coming off the Ultimate Fighter finale with him. I just like Bryce Mitchell here. He's a young guy. He's getting better and better each fight. He doesn't stay too active, but he still allows himself some time to grow. So he's been off for about 6 or 7 months right now. And I like that because as a young guy, I don't want to see you coming back every 3 months. I want to see you get a win. Thank God, now we've got more time to improve before we take on some of these killers in the top of the division. So I like Bryce Mitchell's approach. And I think he's going to get the job done here. I like his chances versus Matt Sales. I've just seen Matt Sales lose to some guys that... Listen, Matt Sales could easily come in and do work, but... Listen, if you're losing to Shaman Moraes, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think I'm going to go with Bryce Mitchell here. I think he's going to get the job done by decision. Billy Quarantillo versus Chris Fishgold. I would have gone with Fishgold. I think he's pretty good. But... he's just fallen out of the fight. So whoever Billy Quarantillo fights next, I'm assuming he's going to win. I don't know who it is, but hopefully they found a replacement soon. Billy Quarantillo gets the win, I believe. Thiago Alves versus Tim Means. I'm going to go with Tim Means. This is post-USADA Alves, okay? And Tim Means, love him or hate him, is always doing good. He is always doing good in his fights. Against Nico Price, he was beating the shit out of Nico Price. He was open hand slapping Nico Price across the face and disrespecting him. That's how good he was doing against Nico Price. If you remember the last combination in the Price fight, Tim Means had him backed up. Price was wobbling back to the cage because Tim Means was beating the shit out of him. And then Price does what Price does and surprises us out of nowhere. I just feel like Tim Means is going to get this one done. I haven't been too impressed by the fights of Thiago Alves recently. I almost don't like a long camp for him because as an older guy, I'd much rather you kind of take the fight on short notice rather than go through a grueling training camp. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I'm going to go with Tim Means here though. I think he's going to put on a good fight. I think he's going to get the job done. Tim Means by decision. I think it's going to be quite close though, but I feel like Tim Means got this one in the bag. Tim Means business with the decision win. Moving on to the main card. This is a decent card. Rob Font versus Ricky Simone. Great fight to headline the main card. This should have been on the main card from the very beginning, if I'm honest with you, because Rob Font's a ranked savage. Trains with Calvin Kattar over in Boston. I like Rob Font here. I feel like Ricky Simone, although he had a good moment against Faber when he cracked him on the chin, if you look at some of Ricky Simone's fights before that, some of them a little bit close. He gets rocked quite often in his fights as well, and I think against a guy like Rob Font, who's naturally very quick for the weight class, very long reach, very big size advantage as well, I'd assume, over Ricky Simone. Great wrestling defense against some of these lower tier wrestlers. I feel like Rob Font's going to get this one done. I really do. I think he's going to be a little bit too quick on the feet. You've got Ricky Simone, gets hurt and wobbled quite a lot in some of his fights. If you remember the fight against a guy that he kept dunking on the ground. Let me try and find that guy's name real quick. Rani Yahya. Remember he kept dunking that guy on the ground? Rani Yahya had moments where he rocked Ricky Simone in that fight, and then Ricky Simone goes in, gets KO'd by Urijah Faber. Against a guy that hits like Rob Font, I mean, chinny guys don't last long. Ask Thomas Almeida how he feels about it. You know, I'm going to go with Rob Font here. I think he's going to get the early TKO finish. Geraldo de Freitas Jr. versus Song Yadong. Dangerous for Yadong. However, I am going to go with Yadong. I think I am going to go with Yadong here. It's a good fight. Don't get me wrong. Geraldo de Freitas Jr. is a dangerous man. But Song Yadong right now just seems to have this momentum. And at 21 years old, we can basically assume at this point in Geraldo de Freitas Jr.'s career, him coming off a loss to the last guy he lost to, I think it was Gutierrez or something. Let me see. Chris Gutierrez, there you go. Him coming off a loss there, he's not going to make rapid changes at 30 years of age. Song Yadong's improving every single time. He trains at a good gym. He's got the reach advantage despite, and he's the size advantage as well, even though he isn't even a huge bantamweight himself. I'm going to go with Song Yadong here. Big power in his hands. Face some legit opponents. The last guy he beat was no slouch in Alejandro Perez. He's kind of a decent fighter. Then you got Vince Morales, who he beat. He hasn't got the one big decent name with a good record on his side yet. I think he's going to get it done. Song Yadong gets the KO finish over Geraldo de Freitas Jr. I like that power in his hands. Aspen Ladd versus Jana Konetskaya. I'm going with Jana Konetskaya. She's a big girl. She's a really big girl. I think she's actually a natural featherweight. She's a huge girl. Aspen Ladd's huge as well, but you're still fighting a bantamweight. What is going on with the weight cut of Aspen Ladd? I'll never trust her after seeing her on the scales. I just can't. Jana Konetskaya, more experienced, fought tougher opponents in her career, bar the fight Aspen Ladd had with Jermaine Durandamy, but to be honest with you, there was not really any experience to be gained from that fight. She just got flattened in the first round, whether it was an early stoppage or not. There wasn't a lot of experience in that fight. Like, Jana Konetskaya had a moment where she put Chris Cyborg down and took her back. Like, there were moments there where Jana Konetskaya looked pretty decent. And I feel like she's going to smush Aspen Ladd against the cage. I want Aspen Ladd to win because I want some sloppy toppy, but I'm going to go with Jana Konetskaya. Stronger girl against the cage, and in the female divisions, being a good cage holder tends to be really good for you. Ask Roxanne Modafferi, okay? Jana Konetskaya by boring fucking decision. Stefan Struve versus Ben Rothwell. This is a 50-50, guys. Don't even listen to my prediction here. I might go with Ben Rothwell, though. I might go with Ben Rothwell. I just never like Stefan Struve's fights. I feel like he has such potential to be a monster. But some people, like the hand-eye coordination, just isn't there. It just isn't there, and that's just a problem that some guys have. It's the same with Michael Chiesa when he's on the feet. Hand-eye coordination just isn't there. You know, it's just a natural thing. Some guys have it. Some guys can catch a ball really naturally in secondary school or primary school or high school or elementary school if you're in the US. And some guys can't. And I feel like Michael Chiesa and Stefan Struve are two prime examples of guys who just don't have that coordination. I don't see Ben Rothwell getting submitted. He's a huge man and he's very experienced. So I don't see him getting caught in something that he's never seen before. So that's that chance out the window. He has more power than Struve. He has a better chin than Stefan Struve. He has more experience than Struve. I think he's going to get the jump on Struve. I really do. The skyscraper's going to be due a demolition from Ben Rothwell. Getting the job done by KO. Struve should have stayed retired. Marina Rodriguez versus Cynthia Calvillo, the co-main event. And I'm not joking, this is the fucking co-main event. Cynthia Calvillo wins. Marina Rodriguez, don't get me wrong, dangerous opponent. She beat Tisha Torres. I mean, honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I might go with Marina Rodriguez here. I don't mind her wins. And compared to Cynthia Calvillo, who lost to, I think it was, whatever her fucking name is, the girl she lost to, Carla Esparza. I mean, she beat Joanne Calderwood. She has some decent wins on her record, don't get me wrong, but I am going to go with Marina Rodriguez here. I really am. I think that Cynthia Calvillo has had a lot of fights that have been very close, and some have leaned her direction, and she's been very lucky in doing so. I'm going to go with Marina Rodriguez, maybe getting the upset win here, on short notice. Marina Rodriguez with the close decision victory. Alistair Overeem versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik by KO. Said it now, can't go back. I've been debating whether or not to choose that the entire week leading up to this video. Rozenstruik by KO. I've said it, I can't go back. So I'm going to go with Rozenstruik by KO. I think he just... No, I notice power. When you KO Arlovski, you join a certain club of people. And as much as Arlovski gets a lot of shit, and a lot of people love to give Arlovski shit about his chin, and don't get me wrong, as soon as a guy's chin is looking bad, I love shitting all over them. Okay, I love shitting on guys with no chin. No Chin Garbrandt, Luke No Chin Rockhold, like this. The list goes on. Weidman, you know, I love shitting on guys without a chin. But if you really think about Arlovski, yes, he's been KO'd a lot in his career. Okay? He's been through some KOs in his career. But when you really think about the people who have KO'd him, and I'm not just talking about times he's been rocked and showed weakness in his chin. If you look back at the people that really have KO'd him recently, Rozenstruik joins a very select group of people. Okay? Sakai couldn't do it and went to a split decision. And Sakai is a savage that just KO'd Tybura. Shamil Abdurakhimov couldn't do it, went to a decision. A close one as well. Taito Ivasa couldn't do it, went to a decision. A close one as well. Stefan Struve couldn't do it. And then when you look at the TKO losses, Ngannou, who right now is arguably the number one contender outside of DC, which he is. He's the number 2, but I think he could arguably even be ranked above DC, looking at his body of work in the division so far. Alistair Overeem, Stipe Miocic. Those are the only guys in Arlovski's UFC career that he has lost to by KO. Stipe Miocic, Alistair Overeem, and Francis Ngannou. I like Rozenstruik's chances. I really do. Overeem might be coming to the end of his career. I mean, you're talking 45-17. That is a fucking crazy record. I'm going to go with Rozenstruik. I think that this is being looked at as a short notice replacement when in reality it shouldn't be, because when you really think about it, Rozenstruik was preparing for a full training camp against Arlovski for a big rangy striker. Now he's taking on a guy in Overeem who's a big rangy striker. You know, there was no gap between his camps. If he had gone away and rested for 4 weeks and then came back and fought Overeem on a week's notice, I'd be alarmed. But he went straight from that one-punch KO of Andrei Arlovski where he took no damage and had a full training camp. The next day was announced to fight Alistair Overeem. Straight back to work. I like that. And I think that if he's an underdog, he shouldn't be. And you should all pick him. Rozenstruik by KO. Arlovski, listen, if I noticed you're chinny already, there's going to be issues against Rozenstruik. I didn't think Steven Crowder was chinny. Not Steven Crowder, Alan Crowder was chinny. Got KO'd in the first round. I didn't think Arlovski was chinny anymore. I thought he'd learned to absorb punishment quite well in his last few fights. Gets KO'd stiff in the first round. I do think that Alistair Overeem is chinny. I don't know what the fuck I was going to... If I didn't think that the rest of the guys that Rozenstruik's KO'd were chinny, and I do think that Overeem's chinny, what the fuck is Rozenstruik going to do to him? Someone needs to get message to Overeem real quick with some warning and some helping words of advice. I don't like his chances. And I think if Rozenstruik wins, a great fight for him would be the winner of Derek Lewis versus Ilir Latifi, which is fucking randomly happening for some bizarre reason. Or the winner of Blades versus JDS, which would also be a great fight. So we'll see what happens. Rozenstruik for the win by first round KO, remaining undefeated, new blood in the heavyweight division. Especially seeing how good Greg Hardy did against Volkov. I think we're starting to notice that there isn't much of a skill gap between the top of the division and the unranked guys. Rozenstruik gets the KO win in the first round. Like and subscribe. Click that button there. Goodbye. See you later.